everybody. Good evening. I hope you're enjoying your day. I just got home myself, and it's been a crazy, crazy week. Thank you to Ghost Dragons. He's kind enough to be behind the scenes and in the chat to help me out since I have vision issues. I have to admit, I'm a little bit nervous and surprised and happy that not only they have the confidence in me to be doing this all by myself, but that she's received so many nice things said about the talks that I've been doing and the guidance that I've been giving. So I'm here for you, and I hope that you enjoy this evening. If you do have any questions for me, Stephen Ghost Dragons is going to be popping them up on the bottom of the screen so that I can read them a little easier. I will have to kind of raise my glasses up to be able to read them as I'm still operating off of my phone. I've got someone who's going to be helping me to get the computer set up and be able to do this um, even better. Uh, Honestly, if we are able to continue this, I'd like to be able to take this to other parts of my home. I'd like to show you where I keep all of my spiritual and magical tools. I'd like to maybe even be able, when the weather's a little warmer, take you out to the garden with me, which is definitely my sanctuary during the warmer months. Um, so this last week, for those of you that don't follow my social media, we had a very big scare in our house. As many of you know, I am a cat mom. I am a rescue mom. So I did 20 years of rescue work with the local rescue organization through our shelter. And over those years, had learned a lot about feline behavior, feline anatomy, and so on and so forth, and have wound up with my fair share as I'm looking down at Ladybug walking um, of rescues come through my house. Ladybug and her sister Tiger are the last two that came in as fosters into my home. Um, they were 4 weeks old when they arrived, along with a total of 8 kittens that were without a mother. They were malnourished. I was getting up every 2 hours and feeding them, bottle feeding them to save their lives. And her sister, Tiger, has what's called FIV, feline immunovirus. And basically, it depletes the immune system, so she might be a little bit more prone to getting sick and so on. But because so little was known about that in previous years, it was considered highly contagious. Long story short, people were afraid to adopt her with her sister because they were afraid the virus would be transmitted. Previous scientific studies showed that it wasn't uh, as easily transmittable as was once thought. So after a year, we wound up adopting them. Literally, last week, Wednesday, was their 7th birthday. And my husband had gotten up in the morning. Ladybug was acting off. She was hiding. And so he gave me the heads up to keep an eye on her. Later that morning, I noticed that she was having difficulty walking. Within a matter of a few hours, she was paralyzed from her hips down. She wasn't able to walk. She was dragging her legs behind her. She had no movement in her tail. We wound up getting a hold of the veterinarian, taking her in for an emergency visit. I'm kind of keeping an eye on her as she's moving around the room. And, they looked at her blood work, they looked at all of her diagnostics and x rays, all looked good. So they said, whatever the injury is, it's got to be soft tissue, and gave us some medication to make her comfortable. We took her home. They said, if she doesn't improve, we can put you up with a neurologist. Again, we got a hold of the neurologist, had to drive her. It's 100 miles each way to get her to Albuquerque and back, for an MRI. And you can kind of see her ears over here in the corner. Um, they found out she had a herniated disc. Now, not a lot of pet parents would go the extra mile. They would see a cat or a dog or an animal that was paralyzed and think, what can I do? Is this too much? Do I have enough? Whether it's emotionally, physically, I'm going to raise my chair because she's coming over to sit with mama. Um, and how do you cope with that? How do you cope with the emotional trauma? How do you cope with stress? Um, what should you do? What shouldn't you do to get through such emotional turmoil? And this applies in all manners of our lives. It can be, a pet parent. It can be a sibling. It can be a child, a parent. That when you have that love, that energetic tie, how do you deal with that stress? And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about how I got myself through it, how I got her through it. Again, you'll see me looking down. I'm watching her walking, and it fills my heart with such joy. Um, One of the first things that I did is I have been trained as a level 2 Reiki practitioner. Now, I am not a Reiki master, though I have had attunements to help me with such. I don't consider myself a Reiki master, yet it is something that I would like to do. And I want to do it so that I can use that healing ability for the community. Whether it's you who are watching through Reiki sessions, one on one, in person, or virtually. But I sat down with her, and rather than getting worked up and that that emotional inhale, that oh my god, what's going on? I took that deep breath and said, okay, let's get through this moment, and then we'll get through the next moment, and then we'll get through the next moment. I did meditation with her. I held her in my lap. I did gentle massage, and I did energy work. And when I do energy work, what I mean is I draw upon the natural energy that's all around us, the energy of the universe, from source, whether you consider it God, the force, the universe, Mother Earth, Gaia. I draw that energy through me. When I talk about it, like with my girlfriend, I always say it's through me, not of me. I'm not giving away my energy, but being a conduit for that healing energy. During those energetic healings, I would speak not only to her as a being, but I would speak to her body, both verbally and non-verbally, and tell her, your cells are healing, your cells are healed, your body is relaxing, your body is relaxed. And I would continue to do this with each session I did with her as we went through each step in the process of finding out what had happened and what our next course of treatment is. That thump was her playing over by the door. And through that, not only was I able to keep myself calm, but I was able to keep her calm. I was able to keep my husband calm and allow for that energy that I'm putting out into the universe of, okay, universe, this is what I need. I need support to find out what happened. I need support to find out how to heal her. I need support to find out what to do next and give that time to come back to me. I often equate it to that pebble in the pond. You are putting an energy pebble into a pool of water and watching those ripples go out. And it takes time for those ripples to come back to you. Sometimes it can be really fast, and sometimes it can be slower. And learning to ride the waves in between can be difficult. Um, I equate the tie that I have to my animals in the same way that I am energetically tied to each of you, to every living thing around me, to everyone I come in contact with as a cording. And I know you've heard Gemma use this term. You'll hear lots of other spiritualists, mediums use the term cording. What does that mean? So when we interact with someone else, a living being, a plant, even a place, even an object, you create an energetic tie to that person, place, thing, um, on a quantum level, if you will. And so energy can pass back and forth along that path from you to them and from them to you. When you cord to a loved one, I don't care if it's a pet, I don't care if it's a person, that cord is going to be just as strong. You, what's the right way to put this? Your body, your soul, your being on that energetic level doesn't know the difference. So therefore, the stress on your heart, the stress on your mind, your third eye, your body, when you're worried about someone, is going to be just as strong. It's also going to be just as difficult when it comes time to make decisions. One of the things that crossed my mind when I was dealing with Ladybug is what ifs? What if this is the time when I have to say goodbye? And how do I deal with that? It's the same when we're dealing with a loved one and dealing with the idea of their saying goodbye, that ending, that separation of spirit from body. And whether it's they're dying of a natural cause or you're having to turn off the life support because their time has just come, their body has had enough. That energetic tie is still just as strong. So what you send to them, they send back to you just as strong. So if you send to them, I love you, I'm here for you, I support you, I do what you need, that love is coming back to you. And anybody that's a pet parent will agree. They show that love in so many ways that unless you have worked with animals on a regular basis or had that bond, you don't understand it. Um, for me, the hard part is that their lives are so much shorter than ours. Now, there are some animals in wildlife that we've taken in as pets, parrots, for instance, that their lifespan is as long as ours, and we have to look at that in the long run of, okay, I'm 50, 55, and I adopt a 20-year-old parrot. Well, that parrot may outlive me, and how do I take care of it? But in terms of a cat or a dog, you're looking at anywhere from 7 to 15 years, depending on the breed, depending on their health issues. I've had to say goodbye to a lot of babies, and it never gets easy. Makes you a little sad to think about the ones that have gone beyond. But I also know that they're still with me. For me, my truth, find your own truth, whether it's in my words or your own path. My truth is that this body that we experience, this 3D world, is a vessel. You know, it's here so I can feel, so that I can hear, so that I can taste, touch, smell. When it ceases to exist, the essence that is me, the energy, the soul, continues on. Whether it continues on this plane or moves on to its next existence, that's for each individual to decide. So I know that my babies, they still come and visit me. I felt them, but that doesn't lessen the fear. That doesn't lessen the heartache, because you do, as a physical being, miss that tactile, being able to hold them, being able to play, being able to see them happy. And when you're in that sensation of trauma, you have to be careful not to get yourself too pulled into that what if, what if, what if, and look at what can be, what can be. For myself, I literally knelt down beside her and called on my guides and my guardians. And I said, I call upon you in love and light only. This is not for me. This is for her. Be by her side. Show her the same love and care and support that you would to me in love and light only. And then I let it go. I gave it over to them, because to carry that weight around with me, I was not going to be able to help her. I was going to be too stressed out, spending too much time crying and not able to pick up the phone and make the call to the vet, make the call, to see, can we get her in? Who's going to drive? How am I going to take care of things? I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't been willing to let go. Now, for me, because of the journey that I've been on, I don't see it as the all that is one. I, how's the best way to put this? There are so many spiritual beings in our existence, on our planet, in our realm, our universe, in all the universes that we are connected with on many different levels. for me, to me, I call upon the energies of those beings. So I asked Freya, who, if you know Norse mythology, she was Odin's wife, the goddess Freya. Her chariot is led by cats rather than horses. She is a protector of cats. I also called upon Bastet, who in Egyptian mythology, Egyptian deity, is the goddess of cats. And I see my camera doing wonky things as I say that, and I thank you, Bastet, for watching over her. These energies are a frequency. Whether you consider them an actual physical being or just 342 megahertz on the frequency. Okay. That frequency, what's the right way to put this? That frequency allows a sympathetic vibration to take place. So, for instance, I like dragonflies. Notice how my face lights up when I say I like dragonflies. The thought, the idea, the imagery, as soon as I think about that and I pick up my deck of oracle cards with the dragonfly on it, the vibration, the frequency changes to a positive vibration, a positive frequency. And by calling upon these energies, by calling upon these beings, these frequencies, I change the vibration and I affect my world around me. Now, just so that everyone knows, Ladybug, she's my only all black kitty, and she's not even all black. She has some white hairs. I call them her magic sparkles because they look like little sparkles on her shoulders. But, you know, I have such a special bond with her because of all the hours that we spent. I mean, literally, I would use a washcloth to wrap her up in like a little burrito to bottle feed her. And to be able to transmit that positivity to her, it, it, it brings me joy. You know, it is what I think saved me in a lot of ways because I got into rescue when I had adopted um, a total of three kitties. Two came directly from the shelter. One we got a few months later that turned out to be from the same litter and bonded with a black male that we named Nutter. Nudd apostrophe R. I later spelled it Nadir, which means golden eyes because he had the brightest gold eyes. Um, the best way to equate our bond was he was my familiar. Okay. He knew when I was in pain. He knew when I was sad. He knew what I needed. If I needed comforting, he would come and he would just lay next to me and he'd put a paw on my leg and he'd stare at me in a loving manner. He knew that if I needed um, to laugh, he would start acting silly. So when he passed away, I wanted to give back. I wanted to help other people find that same bond, that same companionship, that same love that I found with my rescue kitty and be able, hi Anthony, be able to give that same chance in a life for a rescue animal. If it hadn't been for having him and the other kitties that I had, the depression that I went through when I became disabled because of fibromyalgia at the age of 30 years old and not able to work anymore because the chronic pain was so severe, I couldn't tell you from one day to the next if I was going to be able to even get up out of bed. It hurt so bad just to breathe. They saved me. Oh, thank you, Anthony. Gemma is going to appreciate that so, so very much. You are such a doll. Thank you. Oh, and there she goes again. Round and round she goes, and I am so delighted. If I hadn't been able to have that kind of bond, unconditional love, I probably wouldn't be around today. You know, lots of people who have struggled with depression, with chronic pain, with disability, have all been through this at one time or another, where they have had that gasp of a breath, that inhale moment of how am I going to live? How am I going to survive this? How am I going to get through my day? And that unconditional love was how I got through my day. And to be able to turn around now, 25 years later, and say that I have helped rehome, rescue, save the lives of dozens of rescue cats. And I still have foster or families that I have sent cats to that were fosters of mine. Still send me Christmas cards every year with pictures of their kitty and how happy they are to have them in their lives and the difference that it's made for them. That's the kind of difference that I want to make and be able to share with you as an audience that I haven't been able to do so otherwise. Um, it's nice to see her so active. She's just up and around and back and forth. And, you know, if you're lucky, she might even do a drive-by in front of the camera. Considering that for 48 hours, she she was literally pulling herself around. Oh, I think she's going to settle. Pulling herself around, and her back legs were dragging behind her. Um, now, I've had enough experience in rescue that I knew what to do. I knew how to take care of her. Um, her predecessor, Fairview, was a rescue kitty that literally I scooped out of the highway when he was 6 weeks old. So, oh, that's sweet, Edna. Yeah. And I had him till he was 18. And he had chronic arthritis and back issues because of it. And in the last couple of months that I had him, um, oh, thank you so much. And I was able to take what I learned from caring for him. Okay, so I'm sorry, give me just a second. So let me see. Laura, do you believe in God? This is really awesome to get to know you better. Well, thank you, Bat Mom. You know, I don't believe in God as necessarily the Christian God. To me, God is within us all. God is in, okay, if you go by the Bible, God is in everything. It is in everyone. It is in the rocks, the trees, the birds. It, that's a campy quote from one of my favorite paranormal movies, The Craft, talking about Manon. And that mana is the God, is the rocks, the trees, the birds, the plants, us. It's everything that connects us. To me, that's what God is to me. Okay. Do I believe that there have been and are celestial beings that watch over us? Yes, I do. I believe that there are beings that we call angels. Some people call them angels, I call them beings of light. To me, they're the same thing. Do I believe that there were ancient gods that were actual beings that the Sumerians worshipped, that all of them um, were true form, physical beings? Yes, I do. Okay, let's see what this says. I'm sorry, I have to look at the camera this way because of my vision. Jeffrey says, I am divine, I am sovereign, I am free. Yep, Smoochie. Yeah, I like that. Um, I am all. God is within me, God is within you. Um, and I know it's not the exact interpretation, but one of the words that I like to use when I say thank you to someone is namaste. Um, because the interpretation I was taught is namaste. I celebrate the God that is within you. So when I say namaste, that's what I mean. Um, because you may see God as the Almighty, the On High, and I celebrate that and I respect that. All I ask in return is that you do the same for me and give me grace. Um, did anybody have any questions for me tonight? I wanted to talk about how I made my way through this stressful time, but I also wanted to give some time for, any other questions you might have for me. And Stephen will pop them up in the chat so that I can read them. Um, I could tell you a little bit about my week as far as classes go and synchronicities. Okay, so synchronicities again. My two teachers, um, I would call Athena, who she teaches through Sage Goddess. I would call her more of a shaman, a medicine woman. Okay. Um, Sarah Lemos, on the other hand, yes, she's a psychic medium, but she is also a guru. Okay. Not only was I intuitively calling upon my guides, my guardians, my angels, um, to support me, to bring healing for Ladybug, literally in the classes that they had already pre-planned to teach for this last week, they were talking about calling upon your guides, your guardians, specifically your angels. Now, while again, I don't I don't follow the quote Christian faith. I was raised around the Christian faith, even went to both Christian and evangelist churches when I was young and private school. It, how would I put it? It wasn't all encompassing. I knew there was more, and I wanted more, and I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to learn acceptance, and I wanted to understand. I wanted to understand everyone's point of view. So, I asked my mother, when my friend who is Catholic, can I go to their church and meet their priests and understand their ceremony and their beliefs? And my friend who is Hindu and Buddhist. And so I've learned to encompass all of that in a way that resonates with me and hopefully in be able to impart it in a way that resonates with each of you. And so the idea of an angel, I see that as a higher realm being whose frequency and vibration is more powerful than us, uh, a, on a higher plane than us. And so, in some ways, we have to raise our own frequency up to be able to speak to them and understand them. But we can also call them down and call them in and ask them to speak with us and support us. And so, look at the different religions, and many of them across the entire world, not just the Christian based religions, have versions of angels or angel like beings. When you're in a situation where you're under stress or under joy, look at those beings and who do I call upon? Who do I call upon for support? Who do I call upon for joy? Who do I call upon for protection? Um, and then also look at what those beings mean to you, which is why when the moment of stress came in upon me, I went to my instincts. I went to who do I call upon who are guardians of cats? St. Bridget, Bastet, you know, Freya. And then because I've always, and this has been since I was a toddler, been drawn to Isis, the goddess Isis, wife of Osiris, um, and mother. And so, I call them in and ask them and their frequency and vibration to give me support. And so I encourage that in all of you. And if you are in need of, whether it be um, someone to help me focus, someone to help me with strength to get through a bad situation, to look up, okay, you know, who are deities, who are saints, who are angels, who are aligned with that energy, and call upon them. And you don't have to do it, you know, oh, I pray to you, da 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 da. You don't have to do that. Their energy is around us all the time. Have it a simple conversation, just like I'm having with you right now. Hi, this is me. I'm talking to you, and I'm having a really hard time, and I really need your love and support. And if you could give your love and support to Ladybug, and maybe just give me a sign that I would easily recognize. Good point to make. So that I know you're here with me. So that I know you've heard me and that you're giving me that support. I got it. I got it in watching her stand up. Now, is she back to 100%? No, our bodies take time to heal. And I get that. But to see the night and day difference and how quickly she's recovered from being fully paralyzed, I have no question that I was being watched over and she was being watched over. Um, for me, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of congestion from, I had to drive a friend to doctor's appointment today. and the spring winds are getting to me, so I apologize. But I even will speak out loud and ask for guidance in what I'm going to talk to you about, what I'm going to talk to Gemma and Ghost Dragon about, uh, and ask for clear answers, um, whether it be, okay, my sign that you're supporting me is going to be a raven's feather, right? Guess what I found landed in front of the car today while I was waiting for my girlfriend to get out of her doctor's appointment? A raven's feather. Okay. So it's not, it doesn't have to be a huge ceremony to be able to call them in and ask for their support. Um, One of the things that I wanted to do, speaking of support, and maybe Stephen, um, if you could, I'm going to step away just long enough. I wanted to get that palm stone and show it to everybody, and I didn't have a chance to grab it before I walked in.
No
So if
problem.
you could ask, you know, if anybody's got any questions for me, um, give me just 2 seconds, okay, maybe a minute and a half, and I will go out and get that, and then I'll talk to people about
That's fine.
why, what I want to do with it and why I'm doing it. Okay,
No
so I'll be
problem.
right back.
You have to forgive me, folks. I am slumming today. I have been nonstop. I was surprised I looked as good as I did yesterday. There he is. Yeah, I'm here. I'm just hiding around in the background, looking rough. It's been busy, 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 bee. You guys, it's
No,
cool to talk.
I
It's
needed
cool to
to
talk
grab
about
some.
religion. It's cool to talk about religion. Just keep it simple, okay? Because YouTube's a pain in the tushy. But I like seeing the conversation I'm seeing. It's good. Talk it out. Fabulous. No, not really. Not
There we
today.
go. All right. Yeah. Excuse me. There we go. Back in place. Thanks for doing that, Stephen. I appreciate
Oh,
it. Because,
no
yeah,
problem.
and yeah, I'm right there with you. You know, because we have to deal with the algorithm and YouTube, we do have to watch certain things that we say, but it is so important to be able to have a good conversation
Yes, it is.
and and be in a space where we're all safe. It
Yep.
doesn't matter, if you believe in Buddha and I believe in the goddess and he believes in a purple-haired pixie.
I believe in the spaghetti ball mall. God.
There you go. I believe in tacos on Tuesday. You know, it if we can just hold grace and hold space for each other and support each other, that's all that matters.
That's all that
That's all
matters.
that matters. So, what I wanted to do is, and I mentioned this via the streams, um, Gemma's card reading and whatnot. And I've got, and I'm going to hold this up to the camera as best I can so that it'll focus on it. This is Golden Healer Quartz. Now, Golden Healer Quartz is quartz that has um, iron oxide in it. Okay. Now, iron is a conductor that helps run energy. So it allows for that energy flow to move better. And of course, we all know, our body, our blood has iron in it, and that's part of what helps our system move the energy. What I wanted to do to show how much you and Gemma mean to me and how much this community means to me, is I'm giving this away to one person at random, um, who has booked a reading with Gemma by the end of the month. Um, and I will take it and charge it. I have a selenite plate. I will clear it. I will then charge it with healing energy, with Reiki energy, in the same way that I would do a Reiki healing session for myself, for you, for an animal, and then it will be sent on to that person. I wanted to do it as a way to encourage. Oh, thank you, Bat Mom. Thank you. And I appreciate the caps. It does make it a lot easier for me to read. Um, I, you guys are my joy. You have become a family to me. The community that I have found through Gemma and Ghost Dragon, Stephen, you're my family. You know, I'm so proud of Gemma. Honestly, I feel in some ways like a big sister, proud mom, watching her over the last 14 months, 16 months, because when I first came across her, she was on Spaced Out Radio on the weekends. And watching how her personality has
She's always
blossomed.
had a personality.
Yeah, but watching her go from a place of insecurity to a place of confidence, from a place of chaos to a place of there may be chaos, but I can hold peace. I I am just still so happy for her and wanted to do this as a way to give back to her. And I want to do something special for you too, but we'll figure that out when the universe tells me.
I need
Oh,
nothing. I am
I'm
fine
one of
in
those.
life.
I know you. We all say that. We
I
do.
am fine. I mean, yeah, I have up and downs, but I'm a good
Yeah,
guy. I know where I'm going. I know what to do. I have my contacts when I need something, and
but I know you're
I'm
also
good to go.
like me that there are those times when you'll come across something, whether it's an object or an idea, and you'll go, that has to be for insert name of person. You'll see you know, gnome. Oh my gosh, Gemma, that needs to go home to Gemma. Or, you know,
Yeah, I
in
do
my
do that.
sparkly rock. Oh my gosh, that needs to go to Pixie. You know, that I have always felt that sometimes I am just a courier, if you will, for those energies. And, I even with like jewelry, for instance, you know, I have my favorite rings, I have my favorite things, but when they disappear, I've lost them. To me, it means that okay, their journey with me is done and it's off. That energy is off to where it needs to go in the next area. So, you know, again, if you book with Gemma, your name will be put in a hat, and we'll do a drawing. I'll text with her and we'll figure out what we're gonna do as far as picking out the name, but we'll do it completely random, intuitively, and then you'll get this from me to you, um, with love and healing, and hopes that it can bring you happiness on your journey. So, did anybody have questions for me or want to bring
Yep.
anything up? Because I'm happy to talk about it all. Um,
Yeah,
I
actually,
see.
that's good right here.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Said, hold on, let me pop it up here. Make sure you catch the first rain in May. That is,
Oh yes, 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 absolutely. Um, I will often Now I'm going to date myself. Um, one of my old traditions is to watch the musical Camelot. There's a particular song. It's May, the lusty month of May. And I will walk through the house singing that at the top of my lungs every May. I just do. It's one of those things that's always brought me joy. I've loved that musical since I was a little girl. Grew up being a part of a medieval reenactment society, it's the Society for Creative Anachronisms. It brings back happy memories, and it, to me, also welcomes in the month of May, um, and welcomes in the summer vibes. So, yeah, there's lots of different ways that we can celebrate every month, every season, and keep our vibe high, you know, keep the energy good and support each other.
Hey,
Okay,
me,
change position.
Smoochie, send me some mead. I'll let you know if it's good because I'm of Viking ancestry.
How
Big
are
time.
you?
Yes, big
Oh,
time.
wow. I actually, I haven't brewed for a while, but I used to be uh, a mead wench, is what I called myself. Um, I have a drawer that has a stack, I'll have to show them off sometime, of um, awards that I have won over the years
Oh,
in mead brewing, including there. So when you're a brewer, whether it's a mead brewer or beer or wine, the AHA is the National Homebrewers Association,
right.
and so they have a world, or not world, but United States wide competition yearly. Okay. Um, and I have a silver certificate, which means a silver medal for one of the first meads I ever brewed from nationals. And that was the only time I entered at nationals because it is a real pain in the yaya to, uh, box it up to, because you actually have to box it and make sure it's not going to break and ship the bottles and all of that. But I did enter regional competitions, and uh, they had one called the Dukes of the Ale Spring thing, which is a state competition every year, the state fair, and I've got ribbons and medals from that. And actually, I had been thinking about that. I've got a 5 gallon jar of honey. I need to brew some more mead. So if we ever get the opportunity, I actually have a couple of bottles of some of my award-winning meads that I'll have to
I have a real
share with you.
weakness for honey mead. It
Honey
was a
mead,
big
yeah,
thing. Yeah, it was a big
yes,
thing, and some of
yes,
the ancestors in our family was one of their big things they made. It was
yeah.
always good.
So
Always
yeah,
tasty.
traditional mead is honey mead.
Yeah,
It's honey, water, and yeast. So methadone is a spiced mead. So it would be
right,
spices,
right.
honey, water, yeast. Melomel, which is what the peach mead is that I won nationals with, is a fruit mead. There's also, and I forget off the top of my head, a specific name for a one that's brewed with cherries and a couple of the others. But the ones that I primarily did were methadlins and melomels. Most of mine, I would actually, because I'm a lightweight, gee, I would stop the fermentation early so that it
It
wasn't as
wouldn't be as
high in
strong. Yeah,
alcohol. Yeah,
yeah. I'm not a
because
big drinker either.
an average mead, um, a low alcohol mead, you're talking 14%.
Yep. It still kick your
You
butt.
know, yeah, oh yeah,
It still kick your
sipping
butt.
mead. Yes,
But see,
sipping mead.
I
Uh,
also have ancestors from, also family from the Appalachian Mountains. So I've had
yeah,
my share of
yeah.
moonshine too.
Well, as it turns out, I'm actually, if you go by DNA, thank you, Ancestry DNA, I'm 49% Scottish. So it's no wonder that I have a natural
That-
love and an affinity for brewing mead.
yeah, I'm
Um,
not a big drinker.
yeah, me either, me either. But I do love the flavor. Um, and
I
it
think
was
I have a
actually
little
because
bit of I think I have a little bit of Russian in me too because I
yeah,
love a good vodka.
oh yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
we used to make potato
Brian,
vodka.
oh really?
Yeah.
Uh, um, my husband had gotten into brewing beer, and I want to say it was about a year after he started brewing beer. He kind of he got me into the idea of meads and then brewing meads, because I was not a happy camper with him brewing beer in the house.
We went from
Uh, to to
spiritually and feeling good to drinking alcohol.
oh, just to me, the smell of hops cooking on a stove is like boiling dirty socks. Horrid. Just abs. You want to see a pixie turn green? Oh my word! I would have to leave the house every time. And then he introduced me to the idea of brewing mead, and I got together with one of the master brewers here in town who taught me. Next thing you know, he comes home. I have bought 10 pounds of peaches, and there was peach shrapnel all over my kitchen. Okay, because you have to skin them, you have to pour them, you have. Uh, my kitchen was sticky from the honey, and I had a grin from ear to ear after it had fermented, and I let the um, guy that taught me taste it, who master brewer, AHA judge. He was the one who told me, not you should, but you will enter this in nationals. And that's the one I won the silver medal with. And I loved it ever since. It's like my husband and his making candy, making brittle. It is what brings me joy, is bringing other people joy. So yeah, yeah. Oh, lost you. He's on silent. He's a silent puppet. I cannot hear him.
No, it's good. I do that all the
Don't
time.
you know sign language?
Yeah, no. Gemma does.
Yeah, Gemma does. I know.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, if you got
I
questions,
know
please ask
a
me.
little sign language.
I know a few, but you don't want to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I know those too.
um, look, well, you can ask about New England. You can ask about crystals, anything you would like. Um, that's what she's here for,
You
you
can
know.
ask about New Mexico. You can ask about how I got involved in the paranormal. Yeah, I mean, we don't have. We're what 59 minutes in? Is that what I'm reading there, Stephen? We
Uh,
can.
we're at 9:02. You can, if you want to take
Yeah,
it to 9:30, that's fine.
yeah.
I
So.
want, I need to get puppy dog out. That's why everybody sees me book when we in with Gemma. That's why I book
Mm-hmm.
is because I'm in the hotel. I'm the only one who can get the dog out. So that's why you
Yep.
see me book so fast right now.
He can only cross his legs so long.
He does
So
the
yeah.
doggy dance. He does the
Yeah.
doggy
But
dance.
if anybody has any questions,
Yes.
otherwise, what I think we'll do is we'll wrap it up. And I highly, highly, highly encourage you. Gemma is to the end of the month. She's doing $20 for a reading for May. Um, Go ahead, book that reading with her. Send her PayPal, Cash App, what have you. That'll help her out too, a lot. That's her primary source of income. I'm lucky. My primary source of income sits in the other room and makes brittle and is retired. Um, so we're okay. I don't need to worry about it too much. And plus, I trust in universe. I trust in source. But if you have questions, if you have dealt with something paranormal, whether it's, ghosts, spirits, entities, UFOs, cryptids, whatever, I am willing to talk to you privately to help you understand what's going on. My intuitive gift is what defines an evidentiary medium. So I receive information, I then relay that information to you um, as I receive it. And I can help you figure things out. And Stephen and Gemma, we, go back to, we've talked behind the scenes, and so they understand how I work. So if you're not comfortable, reach out to one of them. My email is lady.dreamweaver at att.net. You can email me. Just make sure you say, hey, Paranormal Pixie, or something like that, so that I know that, where your email is coming from because of spam stuff. Or you can reach out to me either on Facebook under Lara Sandling Bennett. Same thing on Instagram under Lara Sandling Bennett. Um, Most of what I post on there has to do with rescue cats and a little bit of spirituality right now and my artwork. But you can reach me there, and I'm here. I am willing to help. And we'll keep this fabulous journey going together. Um,
I'm gonna put your contact information up for you. You're in the
oh,
chat.
great. Thank you so much.
If I can get it
I
to fit.
appreciate it.
Yes. I am working on it. I am
Yeah,
slow.
that's okay.
I'm
That's
the
okay.
slow dragon of the group.
You know,
Yeah.
um, Also, if you have an experience or a question or something that you'd like us to talk about, either me, on Thursdays or with Gemma and Ghost Dragon, again, let us know. Contact one of us so that we can help you out,
Yeah.
or we can cover the subject. Get you more information, help you on your journey, wherever that may be. So with that, Stephen,
We can
you
go
all
ahead.
set?
We can go
Okay.
ahead and we'll do a little, as Gemma would say,
Hmm. Yep.
promotional work. And, just remember
Yep.
we're here on every other Monday. And then she has videos coming out on Monday, Gemma does. And then every other Monday, we'll probably stream after that. Then, of course, Oracle on Wednesday nights at 7:15 or so. And then Thursday nights here with Laura. And
Yep.
then Friday night at midnight with me. And I will be here
Look
Friday
forward to
night.
that.
Yeah, and then because I can't sleep, might as well do something. And then as I get slowly back closer to the home, I will probably do that maybe 1 or 2 nights a week, maybe even three if it works out, depending on how I feel. I might do a pop up one every so often. But we would love to see you all in one of these chat rooms. So please join us.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Yes.
going to
Come
say
join the
goodnight.
family.
I'm
Yep.
going to
Good
say
night,
goodnight.
everybody. All
I'm
right.
gonna,
You uh, pop me
yes,
out, or you pop yourself out, and
yeah, I can do
just
that.
be kind to each other. Go in grace. Give love, and we'll see you next time. Take care,
Sounds
everyone.
good.
Bye bye.
Up. I turned it down too fast. I'm sorry, Laura.
You're
I'm
okay.
sorry. um. So yeah, Friday I will be here this Friday at midnight. And like I said, if it works out, I'll probably do it one more time for sure during the week. So it'll be like a weekday, and then either a Friday or Saturday. I'm shooting for Fridays, but I don't want to step on other streamers' toes that do paranormal stuff. So we'll see how that goes because I'm pretty try to be polite about it, and we'll go from there. And then, like I said, Laura will have Thursday nights, and maybe join her Gemma We'll join her some nights. All depends on how her schedule goes. And then, of course, our Mondays and Wednesdays. So everybody have a safe night. A premature evaporation. That's right. You guys all have a good and safe night. Much love and respect to you all. And I shall see you on the flip side.